So, hi everyone. Thank you very much for being back with us again. This is the third episode of Innovation Village Input. My name is Alberto Mattiello. I am part of the scientific committee of Expo Riva Shoe and Garda bags. And this year, we have decided to introduce like a big novelty for this 2022 event, that is the Innovation Village. So we have selected 10 startups, and we have brought them here in Riga. And actually, for who of you is listening to us from Riva del Garda, please come and visit us, visit the Innovation Village. Our goal when we imagined to do this was to help this industry to get in contact with innovation, with technologies. That's why we created this link, we created this space, this amazing place with a lot of startups, a lot of ideas, a lot of technology, and a lot of inspiration for your business. So please come and visit us. So this is the third episode of the Innovation Village Input. We've done one yesterday, so you can find it on the Expo Riva Shoe. Actually, the one that we did yesterday was about virtualization. Big topic right now, so all the technologies and solutions that can help you to get your product, your experiences up on the digital and the metaverse and the metaverse world. The second episode was held this morning. You can see, obviously, the recording again in the Expo Riva show. This morning, we have been talking about personalization. So 3 startups connected to how you can personalize the experiences. And so creating like a one-on-one communication with each one of your customers. And today, this is the last episode of this series. And the topic of today is the drive to store. So how can we get our customers to join us in the spaces where we want them when we want to meet them? So we have 3 startups with them, but before starting and introducing them, I want to introduce a friend. His name is Simone. Hey, Simone. Ciao, Simone.
Hi,
welcome.
Alberto.
Ciao, Simone. Simone has a lot of experience in the retail world. I would say like more than 20 years under his belt, leading a big company in the shoe industry. But Simone, do you want to say something about yourself, like a little introduction of what you do, and what you have done in this industry?
Absolutely. I've been CEO Europe for a brand which is called Carlo Pasolini. And in the last basically 15 years, I've been running the business, retail store, opened more than 90 stores all over Europe. And I've been helping the American business unit basically until they found the CEO there. And now I'm doing consulting in retail. So that's it, basically.
Very good. So we have a lot of stuff to go through. So please stay with us. We're going to have these 3 presentations of the 3 startups.
Absolutely.
At the end of each one, I'm going to ask you to come for your comments and questions. For any doubts you have, you can, so that our startups can address your doubts and questions. Okay, so stay with us. First startup, the first one, the name is RetailTune, and we have Claudio here. So Claudio, the stage is yours. So you can go on with your pitch.
Thank you. It's open? Okay. I'm Claudio. I'm the founder of RetailTune. Is possible? Yeah, it's possible. For me, it's always complicated to explain what RetailTune is, because it's an idea that we had 3-4 years ago, working for a big company, a retail company, and we discovered that there were a lack between what the people want and what the company do on the web to help them to go to the store, physical store. So we can say that we work against the trend. We are not on the trend in this moment because we work for the physical store, both for the retail and the wholesale store. But for me, there is a big market in this, big possibility in this. The concept is very simple, we can say. So we are not exactly a startup, because in these 3 years, we have the lucky also, and the ability to work with a lot of companies. This is very important because they permit us to grow very fast and understand exactly their needs. And RetailTune is a concept. The concept is creating a platform in some bits, all what is it need to create an experience that become on the web and finish on the store. It seems simple. It's not simple, but could be simple. Because the difference in the company, in the culture of the company, we know that there is the needs. We know the number. For example, in fashion industry, medium, of course, the percentage of people that buy online when they arrive on the website is around 0.5%, 1% of the people, the section. But 40% of people that go on the website, they go there to discover products and to understand where to buy offline. But another consideration, if we look at the turnover of the company, we easily discover that the majority of the turnover is made by physical store. So why we don't work on this? There is a historical reason. It's because at the beginning was the e-commerce manager that managed all the digital area, with KPIs that, of course, are to sell online. There are companies with thousands of stores that they miss the stores on the website. And really, I don't know why. So we work in this area. And we try to put in the software, in the platform, all kinds of experiences people could have when they want maybe find products. At the beginning was only for retail brand, but we discovered that there are a huge market on the wholesale, so on the manufacturing brand, that maybe a company that they want maybe to show to the people where to find the product. This is the goal for the next few years. We know that there are a lot of big companies that are working on this, but we thought that it's very important to start from the brand. So our customer can be, for example, the single stores, but the brand. Because we produce a lot of kind of asset digital, but all managed by the brand. And the end on this asset, digital asset, for the people, it would be easy to find where to buy the products. In the meantime, we collect a lot of information. So the platform works in two directions. Through the customer, the client, to give them a good experience, but also we receive back a lot of information. For example, we are working with the University of Parma, the city where we started, and Pinco is a fashion company, to produce a tool that helps Pinco to put in the stock the right products. Because we know very well what the local people want, the color, the size, the category of the products. We know very well the brand awareness of every stores, so we can indicate to the brands what to invest, what kind of amount to invest in a store instead in the other one. So RetailTune is a concept of all of this, so it's quite impossible for me now to explain all the tools we have inside the platform. So I prefer to explain the idea that we have instead to explain you only any single tool.
But let's pick a couple of them. Let's pick a couple of the tools that you have there. And maybe
one of the important things is the concierge page. Concierge page is the website of the single store. And it seems stupid, but it's very important because this is the page that people can reach when they look for a brand in a city. I can give you maybe after we have some example, but our goal is to produce the first position for our concierge page if someone look for the brand in this city. So this is our result. And this is very important inside the concierge page, say everything. It's like if someone come into the store. So what you do, you show the product, you keep the store clean, you give any kind of information. The same have to be here. But this is intelligent because we can put in this concierge page the product that at that moment the store has in the stock. It's very important to show the product that you have in the stock today instead to show something that you haven't. Another problem is that in the catalog of every company, there are a lot of products, but only a bit of the products are in the store. Medium, only 20% of the product that the people want is in the store. So think how it's important, how much is important to show exactly a catalog for every store of the products you have in the store. This is possible with our technology. I don't see very well there, but in any case, I go ahead. These are some examples. For example, in this page, this is a concierge page, you find 3 products. That are 3 different products from 3 different categories that today are in the stock of the store. And maybe these are the most viewed products in the area. The same we can do for the old catalog. We can show all the catalog of the brand. In this case, is a wholesale. If you look for a Triumph in the places where we have the store, also wholesale store, you will see in the first position the wholesale store. If you click there, inside, you will see exactly the catalog that the wholesale has of Triumph at that moment. So this is, for me, is very important because it's to give back to someone that look for something the right reply. Some example. This is Gore-Tex, for example. Gore-Tex asks us to help the client of Gore-Tex, La Sportiva in this case, to help the client of La Sportiva to find the product in certain city where the wholesale distribute La Sportiva. So our customer in this case is Gore-Tex. That is not a brand of products, but it's something particular. And then we are, for example, another thing that we can do is collect information. So like I told you before, which are the most viewed products. And in some cases, we see very well that the most viewed products are not the products that are in the stock. At the first, the second, maybe we have stock 0, for example. So it's a tool that permits to the company to furnish, to put in the stock exactly what the people looking in this area. If I show you the result in Rome instead of Moscow, instead of Paris, they are completely different. The taste is different. What the people want is different.
What I like about this is that the stock number can help you create scarcity, because on the other hand, knowing that there is one piece of that thing that you're looking for, this is making you like urgency to go to the store. So it's not just a number that helps you understand that there is a product, but there is also like a message like, you know, there's one. So if you want to come, okay, like do it like quickly.
Yeah, today there are a lot of possibility, but we have to follow this idea. For example, if the people want, they can reserve the products they find in the concierge page. But what we do is to send to the store an email with the request, but not only with the request, but also with the other products that man, that the woman look on the website. Why this? Because when these people come in the store, maybe they can find the products they look on the website. So it's a way to anticipate maybe the desire, the request of the people. No? It's a way to well understand, listen what they want and prepare what they want to make the transaction easily. I think that I can finish here because...
You know what, let's see what Simone thinks, if he has questions for you. Simone.
Well, I believe that, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, great. I think that it's a very nice optimization, and my question would be, which is the first thing that a retailer should do in order to optimize the drive to store?
for me, is to change the culture inside the companies.
What do you mean for the culture of the company?
Because I told you before, the idea. A lot of customers of mine, they say, we want to do omni-channel, we want to increase the turnover of the physical store. Okay, but you have passed through the digital, through who makes decision, through who decide what to do on the website. The culture is this. So the idea to have a real omni-channel point of view that is free, without someone that say, no, don't put that there because you don't permit to the people to buy online. The people buy what they want, not online. They buy online with the pickup in the store, they buy in the store, people decide, customer decide. So we have to create the best solution, the best way to inform people. So the first thing is the culture inside the companies. Because the effort, I think that the difficulty I find in this moment is to find people that understand very well. They have exactly the view. We have to have the capability to transform this idea in something that run. Number on the website are people. If I say 1 million visitors on the store locator, it means that 1 million visitors came on the store locator. It means something. I have a customer of mine with 1.5 million section on the store locator area. It means that people look for the store. So in the company, that company have to think to this and maybe to change something. The culture inside is the first thing I would change today in the company.
So if I get it right, you, for example, you can have like a real omni-channel view if, for example, your e-commerce is externalized to a third company because he has his own objective. Maybe sometimes they get paid, their business model is connected to the revenue that they generate online. So if you want to have like a real omni-channel view, you have to be free to move your customers between the channels without having, different channels running one against the other, but they have every one of the channels like working on the same objective.
Yeah, but if you have a staff meeting every week in which you ask to the e-commerce manager, how is the result? How is the result? Of course, it's quite difficult. And maybe if the e-commerce manager is also the man that manages all the situation, you will understand it's something that is, can run ahead very well. So the culture is this. The result is not the sale of the e-commerce. It's a big quantity of information. Of course, the measurement is very important, but we have the capability to measure everything on the web. The number I told you before, 20% of the product that people see on the website is in the store, is because we measure this. Because we have instrument tools that permit to select maybe the color, the size. So we kept everything, we collected the information, and we know that 80% of the product that people want, in this case, fashion, of course, are not in the store closest to the people. This is a problem. Because you know very well that if you have the product you can't sell. The first reason because you don't sell is because the product is missing. So we can maybe
Simone,
start to do something.
Simone, I can see that you agree on this.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree, especially in retail. I mean, if you don't have things on the shelves to sell, it's impossible. I mean, so I totally agree with what he was saying. Absolutely.
Okay. I will say thank you.
Thank you to you.
It was very insightful. A lot of thoughts, I think, for all the people that are running a brand online and offline together. So thank you very much again,
Thank you
Claudio.
to you.
And now we're going to go to Asia. Elena.
Hello, Alberto. Thank you for the invitation. I'm Elena Greco, Marketing Manager of Digital to Asia. We are a digital marketing agency which has been founded in 2017 to support Italian companies which wanted to show their products and sell their products towards the Chinese customers. So before going into details about our services and best practices, I'd like to show you a video in which we can see some of our main campaigns for the retail industry. This is Mont Blanc and the collection Mont Blanc per Maison Kitsune. We invited some live streamers. This was McCartan Glen Group. We invented an augmented reality game, let's say, to show the products of the designer outlet. Then I'd like to talk you more about mini programs later. And engaging the community with some group on WeChat, and I'll tell you what's WeChat. Okay, so basically this was an introduction of our services. Okay. As I said, we are a digital marketing agency focused on Chinese customers and their customer journey. So this is our business model as far as the retail industry is concerned. We work with many different industries, but today I'd like to show you some campaigns we made with retailers. So the retailer contacts us, and we make many different campaigns offline and online on social media platforms or search engines and e-commerce platforms, and we want to reach the Chinese customers. Here are some of our partners, so I can introduce you to some important Chinese platforms, such as Alipay, which is made for payments, but also it's a marketing platform. And then OTA, online travel agencies such as Ctrip or Mafengwo, and social media platforms such as WeChat and the Weibo, which is kind of our, many people say it's like our Twitter, but I can tell you that Chinese platforms are really different from our platforms, and it's not so easy to make a real one-to-one comparison, because the Chinese digital ecosystem is based on many platforms in which we have many functionalities embedded. So there is not just one social media platform, but a social media platform is also an e-commerce platform. It's also a platform used for researches. So everything is combined.
And you know what, Elena? I know there is like a big knowledge gap for people that want to talk to Chinese people, want to have contact with their customer, with them as customers, and the kind of digital ecosystem that they use when they go and buy. So do you want to, to give us like a couple of sneak peek of how they buy, how it works?
Yeah, I can go directly to this. In this slide, you can see the logo, the icon of different Chinese platforms, and basically some of them are using for different purposes. For example, if we want to search a brand or some information, we go on Google, right?
Yep.
But Chinese people go on Baidu or other Chinese search engines. But actually, Baidu is the one which has the largest market share. So it's the one in which we, yeah.
Do they prefer to go to Baidu, or they have to go to Baidu because Google is not available?
Yeah, they're used to.
Okay.
They don't know maybe that they can find information on Google because they're used to go to Baidu. But actually, over the last few years, social media platforms are taking the ground. So Chinese users go to Chinese social media platform to search, because we need to understand that a Chinese user buys something if someone has already made a comment about this or has already said something about this. So they really trust other people's comments and information. So they go on social media where they can find the KOL, key opinion leaders, or other micro-influencers that left some messages or comments about a product they tried. And so they trust this, and then they go and search on other platforms. Because above all, for Italian companies, European companies, it is really important to have an official presence on Chinese platforms. So you have to have an official account on WeChat or Weibo, and then they need to find you on Baidu because they trust you. They say, oh, yes, this is real. And we can go on, for example, by looking at the third chart is about Douyin. We know TikTok, but the Chinese company was Douyin. That was invented, was Douyin. Then it was really important and had an international expansion also. And now we know that TikTok is really famous in the Western countries. And then we have Xiaohongshu, that it seems like our Instagram, because there are feeds with images and posts. But we can go on, for example, for e-commerce platforms. Here we have Tmall, which is the flagship store, the official flagship store, and a luxury brand that wants to enter China must be there. So Chinese users that wants to buy luxury items go on Tmall, search for it, search for the brand, search for the items, new collections, and then they trust the platform. They know that here is a real Italian or European product. Yep. Finally, we can see Alipay. Alipay, I said it's an app used for payment. It's becoming really famous also in the football, because it was one of the main sponsors of the European Championships last year. And as I said, this is not only a payment system, but also a marketing platform. And later I can show you some marketing campaigns we made on Alipay. And finally, as we also help Chinese tourists coming to Italy to discover the main Italian attractions, we make some campaigns on OTA, which are online travel agencies like Ctrip, or Mafenhua, which is used like a forum to make some comments about attractions. And yeah, so
Thank you.
So the digital ecosystem, as you can see, is really different from ours.
Super, great. Thank you very much. Do you have some cases, something that you have done that worth share?
Yeah, sure. I can give you an example of many services we made in the retail industry. For example, as the main topic of today is drive-to-store activities, I can show you how we create this kind of activities. Here you can find some brands which are our clients, Fendi, Rinascente, or Valentino. We made some campaigns on Alipay platform. So there are many services that Alipay provide brands and retailers. For example, if a Chinese tourist come to Italy and they are closer to one of these stores, they receive a push notifications on mobile. The notification says, let's come to our retailer, let's come to our store, we have promotions, we have offers, you can find this and this in Chinese. So a Chinese user is more likely to go there. He finds information in its own language, and so he trusts. He feels like, yeah, I want to buy. And then, for example, on the same platform, you can see there are some coupons. So if a Chinese user,
we trust you.
Yeah, you can see the one in the box. These are coupons.
Okay.
So if a Chinese user opens the platform, he can find some coupons that tells we have discounts in this store. They can find the information about the address of the store, and if they go to the store and then show the coupon, they can have some discounts. Here are some campaigns we made on the OTA. I said Ctrip.
Okay.
So these services is made on the OTA platform, which means I'm a Chinese user, I buy a ticket to go to Italy. So C3 puts you in a WeChat group. WeChat is the social media we saw before. So they create a group with all the tourists that are coming to Italy. And when the date is about to come, or a few days before and during the travel, they receive notifications also in this group that tells them go to that place or that store as some specific discounts and offers. So these are all the informations that customers can have from other retail stores. And then the world of social media. For example, this is Fuorisalone China. We are the main partners of Fuorisalone, and we created this project, Fuorisalone China, which in Chinese is called Milan Shujizhou. So we opened an official account for Fuorisalone. We published many articles, and then we created a mini program. What's a mini program? Mini programs are apps within the app, which means that within WeChat or Alipay, a Chinese user can find everything he wants. For example, this is the mini program of Fuorisalone. We use this to display designers of Fuorisalone and their products, contact informations. Chinese users can complete the contact form, contact the brand. But mini programs have many different functionalities, and we can also have e-commerce mini programs. For example, this is a mini program we created for ticketing services. Thanks to a collaboration with Musement, which sells tickets from all Europe, we can sell the same tickets on our platform to Chinese users. And so this is a kind of mini program linked to an e-commerce functions. And Chinese can pay with WeChat Pay or Alipay. So it's really fast and easy for them because they always have a phone and they pay with this.
Okay. You know what? Let me go to Simone. I'm positive he has some questions for you.
Absolutely, I have. Well, basically, for me, it's very interesting. And I would like to understand which mistake we usually do in the communication with the Chinese world. First thing. And second thing is, which is your best advice that you can give us as a retailer?
Okay. Yeah, as I said, we need to consider that our digital ecosystem and the Chinese digital ecosystem is totally different. So we don't need to think that just entering the market it's the first step, really the first step. But we need to make many activities to increase our brand awareness. For example, I can tell you what retailers need to do in order to attract Chinese customers. And so the mistake could be not doing these activities. For example, I can give you some instances for the offline stores. So when a Chinese user enters my store, he wants to find some information that could be familiar for him. And so if we put some QR codes, for example, on the shelves, and they're used to scan QR codes, so they can find all the information they need, information about the items, about the quality, about the materials used for these items. And then they want to buy this, but they don't have a wallet with them. And they go to the counter, and at the counter they need to pay with the credit card. But we need to know that they are used to pay with mobile. And so they're used to pay with Alipay and WeChat Pay, as I said before. And so a QR code also of these digital mobile payments is a really good idea. And we suggest all our clients to have this at the counter. And I can give you also some examples about the online or the digital ecosystem. If you want to make a business with the Chinese representative, you don't need to send him an email because they are not used to read or write many emails, but they use their mobile phones. So you need to add him on WeChat and start talking with him on the social media platforms. Or last example, for retailers that wants to promote their collections, they need to know that it's better for them if they follow the Chinese lunar calendar and not our Western festivities. For example, retailers need to combine expectation with originality. So Chinese users expect you to have some discounts in some specific period throughout the year, but they also want you to be original. An example, a practical example, in 1 week we are going to have the Chinese New Year, and this year is the year of the tiger. So many luxury brands created some exclusive collections about tiger on the ready-to-wear or bags. And what brought more originality was Bottega Veneta, for example. On the Great Wall, they had a digital screen with the logo, and they also gave money to help rebuild that part. So Chinese users were very impressed by this, because if you show that your company is sustainable, that wants to change the world in a better way, is not focused only of showing new collection, is better for them.
So, Simone, what I think is this is like a huge headache for companies that wants to have connections and business with the Asian and Chinese world. What do you think?
Well, I think absolutely, and the best thing and the simple thing is to externalize this in outsourcing in order to, because it's a culture problem, as we were saying before. I mean, you need to have exactly a deep knowledge into the culture of the country where you're doing anything or you want to sell things. So it's absolutely a great idea, and I think it is going to be a very useful for us as a retailer.
And you know what? I think that understanding their way of buying, understanding their ecosystem is not just a matter of having new tools to get in contact with that culture, but I think it's also like a projection on how it's going to be the retailers and the way that we're going to buy probably in 3 years, 5 years. So we know that they are like probably 5 years in advance in terms of maybe even with differences in the ecosystem and the culture, but we know that we're going that direction. So we can learn a lot in terms of how technology will be available and how the culture of buying and make shopping will be in the next future. So thank you very much again. Thank you, Simone, and we can go to the last startup. So here we have Roberto. Ciao Roberto, we're going to switch to Italian now. Ciao Roberto, and we know that we're going to start with a video. So we have a little video, then we can have a little chat about your solution.
Abbiamo un video per presentare il nostro pitch.
Sport can hurt. The more you try to improve performances, the more injuries and damages occur. Professional athletes could not achieve their performance goals and incur high economic losses in terms of salaries, awards, sponsor contracts, while amateur athletes suffer serious physical damages and chronic diseases. The solution is Full Speed, a revolutionary sport orthotics designed to prevent injuries and damages and increase athletes' performances. Full Speed Sport Orthotics is protected by an international patent. We will produce them in a single technological plant using a tailor-made and user customization approach. We will distribute them through a network of single brand franchised stores. The traveling biomechanics clinic will instead assist professional athletes, big sport clubs, and international sporting events. In Italy, over 31 million people practice sport. Among them, there are 5 million professionals. The turnover of amateur sport is 9 billion euros. Our potential competitors are traditional orthopedics, totally dedicated to assisting the disabled people market. We expect 4 investment rounds to reach break-even points on the 24th month and exponentially growing profits. All of the collected financial resources will be allocated into 5 main expenditure areas. Our goals are fully cover the national territory with at least 20 stores and reach a production turnover of 80,000 pieces, equal to 0.25% of the total potential market. We will face the market involving professional athletes who will be the target affiliates of our franchising network and professional sport clubs. Full-speed technology has already been extended to areas other than sport. First of all, the military field, with the Full Metal project. Then, the field of weary work environments, with the Full Work project. Finally, the post-operative rehabilitation field, with the Full Control project. We want to conclude with a mention of our second project, Performance Factory. This is a platform for the distribution of multidisciplinary consulting services dedicated exclusively to athletes. Performance Factory is an autonomous project that will be launched together with the Full Speed project. Thanks for your kind attention.
Okay, thank you. Let me do it in English and then in Italian, so at least lo faccio in inglese e poi in italiano. So, you're a little different from the other startup that have been presented till now because you have a real product that you are pitching, today, but there is a store concept and a drive-to-store idea behind it, and in 1 second I'm going to ask you more. So what you're doing is to move this kind of product from the healthcare industry and take it to the sport industry, in italiano. Quindi alla fine voi avete un prodotto un po' diversi dalle altre società che abbiamo presentato fino adesso, però c'è un'idea di drive to store che fra un attimo poi ci stai per raccontare. Quindi quello che state facendo, che si capisce da questo video, è che state prendendo un tema tipico del mondo dell'healthcare, quindi della disabilità, della riabilitazione e così via, lo state portando nel mondo dello sport.
Esatto, il nostro progetto parte proprio dallo sport, lo sport professionistico, e come obiettivo ci siamo dati quello di progettare un plantare che fosse in grado di abbattere drasticamente l'incidenza degli infortuni di un certo tipo e soprattutto abbattere quelle che potevano essere le conseguenze a medio-lungo termine dell'intensa attività sportiva sugli atleti nel post-carriera. Come conseguenza poi abbiamo anche ottenuto un aumento delle performance. Ma la cosa più sfidante è stata ricercare tutto questo cambiando completamente l'approccio rispetto a quello che era tradizionalmente presente sul mercato. E infatti noi siamo partiti da un concetto dinamico, a differenza di quello che attualmente si fa sul mercato, che si parte da una correzione statica. E poi, come avete visto nel video, naturalmente questo progetto iniziale dello sport ha avuto degli sviluppi in altri settori, perché le stesse tecnologie che ci hanno permesso di arrivare ai risultati di prevenzione nello sport ci hanno permesso poi di estendere questi benefici a vari altri settori. Quello del militare è stato il primo, successivamente è venuto quello nell'ambito dei lavori usuranti. Ultimamente abbiamo messo a punto anche questo nuovo prodotto relativo al post-operatorio, per la riabilitazione post-operatoria, ma naturalmente tutti i benefici che siamo riusciti a raggiungere con il nostro prodotto possono essere tranquillamente estesi a plantari di uso quotidiano. E infatti non è presente nella presentazione, ma di fatto noi abbiamo già una linea anche per le attività quotidiane di ogni giorno. E la cosa importante che voglio sottolineare è che al di là dei risultati di risposta meccanica del nostro presidio, uno degli obiettivi raggiunti era anche concentrare tutte queste caratteristiche meccaniche in una struttura che fosse il più sottile possibile. Questo perché nell'ambito dello sport gli ingombri erano abbastanza impegnativi da rispettare, ma poi questo ci ha messo in una situazione di vantaggio anche per quanto riguarda il prodotto diciamo everyday, perché ci consente, a differenza della concorrenza, di fare un prodotto che non sia strettamente legato e vincolato dall'utilizzo di una calzatura predisposta per plantare. I plantari tradizionali che sono oggi sul mercato sopperiscono alla necessità di una risposta meccanica attraverso semplicemente un gioco di spessori. Io ho portato qui qualche esempio. Fondamentalmente questo è un plantare tradizionale, e le parti dove serve maggiore sostegno sono quelle dove automaticamente si aumenta lo spessore. Questo naturalmente rende impossibile poi collocare questo plantare in una calzatura qualsiasi. La risposta che il mercato ha dato fino adesso a questa esigenza è quella di fare prodotti più sottili, come questo, che è principalmente proprio dedicato allo sport, ma che poi perdono completamente consistenza, o addirittura questi che di fatto non sono nient'altro che una soletta. Il nostro prodotto è questo qui. Scherzando, ieri dicevamo è il cattivo, cioè nel senso che al di là degli spessori che vengono rispettati, ha una sua personalità, cioè ha delle caratteristiche meccaniche molto particolari di rigidezza e di sostegno, tali da permettere appunto di poi rispondere alle esigenze dell'utilizzatore.
Tu dicevi di avevamo anche un concept legato a come questo debba essere portato poi effettivamente all'interno di uno store e che tipo di esperienza va creata. Io chiederei alla regia di mandare questo video, così lo commentiamo.
Sì, grazie.
Se ci vuoi raccontare intanto.
Sì, allora questo è essenzialmente il concept del nostro store modello, in cui c'è una parte di accoglienza per i clienti e una parte di diagnostica. Fondamentalmente il nostro shop, che noi chiamiamo full box, è concepito in realtà per essere prima di tutto un punto di riferimento e di aggregazione degli sportivi. Infatti qui, oltre che fare analisi posturale e quindi tutto quello che è necessario per la progettazione e la realizzazione del plantare, l'utente trova anche altri tipi di risposta, cioè innanzitutto una serie di consulenti specializzati che appunto offrono la loro prestazione agli sportivi, specialmente i retail, appunto gli amatoriali, perché spesso chi fa sport in qualche maniera lo fa senza guida, senza organizzazione, senza un minimo di anche prevenzione. Invece in questo ambito il nostro progetto, il nostro obiettivo è quello di creare appunto un punto dove è possibile...
Sta usando Baidu.
Esatto.
Si vede.
E dicevo appunto un punto dove poter acquisire tutta una serie di informazioni, di consulenze, proprio per poter svolgere l'attività sportiva al meglio possibile. È chiaro che poi lo store è anche dedicato a fornire altri tipi di prodotto come quelli che vi ho elencato, e quindi automaticamente queste consulenze si espandono anche su quei settori lì.
Bene, quindi la metodologia poi alla fine è il rigore scientifico che c'è dietro a un plantare tipico del mondo dell'healthcare, poi alla fine viene riportato come metodologia, non come prodotto e come mercato, ma all'interno del sistema sportivo. Io chiederei a Simone se ha qualche domanda, curiosità.
Sì, assolutamente ho una curiosità. La tecnologia ho capito che si può applicare anche tranquillamente alle scarpe civili, corretto?
Sì, diciamo che la tecnologia che abbiamo utilizzato ci consente di poter gestire gli spessori, cioè abbiamo svincolato la risposta meccanica dalla necessità di avere degli spessori ingombranti. Questo ci consente automaticamente di poter utilizzare il plantare praticamente in qualsiasi calzatura. Tra le altre cose ci tengo a dire che noi siamo gli unici, che io sappia, nel mondo che utilizziamo la tecnica che utilizziamo per produrre i plantari. La nostra non è una tecnica di estrusione da panetto attraverso frese meccaniche, ma è una tecnica di assemblamento sandwich di varie pelli con caratteristiche meccaniche, con spessori e anche con geometrie mirate a diversificare la risposta meccanica in ogni singola area del plantare.
Bene.
Perfetto.
Grazie infinite, thank you very
Grazie
much. Simone, we're closing this 3 episode of the Innovation Input. I would like to close with like a couple of comments from your side. We are in a very strange period, we know. We have been going through something interesting from one side during the past 2 years. So what do you think is the most important challenge that we should focus in the retails? And actually, we've been talking about stores, like physical stores, and how to drive people to physical stores. What do you think is the role right now of the actual physical contact with people, the physical stores?
Well, this pandemic situation has changed the rules of physical and offline stores, for sure. But I believe, again, in the long terms, once the pandemic is going to be over, I believe that the store needs to be recalculated and have a new, totally new figure, and we need to change the culture of physical store. The physical store should be a mix of online and offline stores in order for us to basically be back on the track, because this pandemic has changed the behavior of our consumer, has changed a lot of things, and people has changed as well the mentality. So we need to be ready that once everything is going to be over, we are helping the client, the customer, in the other hand, with the new method of online and offline stores.
And again, if the customer is changing his way, his behaviors and everything, we have to change the culture inside the company to be ready to react to this change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We need to change the culture of the company. We need to think differently. We need to think in a totally different way, and take these 2 years of stop as of the rethink of the business and remodeling the business.
Very good. So Simone, thank you very much again for being here with us. Thanks a lot for your comments and questions. So hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you. And thank you, obviously, to Roberto, Elena, and Claudio. So this is the end. You know that you can find the other episode and this one too in the Expo Riva show. So again, this is the 3rd episode of the Innovation Village Input. So you can find the first and the second. This one was about Drive to Store. The other 2 were about virtualization, and the second one was about personalization. So you can find it again to the Expo Riva show. And for everyone that is here at the Expo, please come and visit us at the Innovation Village. There is a lot of cool people and cool stuff to see and to try. So please come. We're here to welcome. So thank you very much again, and see you next year. Ciao.